want to talk about a circuit clout. That one might have brought more rain if the clouds were still up there. As Acuna circles the bases, and the Braves have a 1-0 lead right away.
We mentioned the leadoff home run hit by the Elizabethan Twins' Spencer Steer to start their 6-5 victory against the Bristol Pirates yesterday in Elizabethton. It should also be mentioned that Ron Acuna home run that you heard began the Braves' 3-2 victory against the Chicago Cubs. I don't know why I like to call them that. Of course, that wasn't a game-winning hit. This was.
So Ozzie will bat from his favored side, right-handed. Always has walked and flied to center. First pitch for Montgomery. Swinging a high fly into that wind, deep to right center. Almora going back to the track, to the wall. It's gone for Albies. 2-run home run. And the Braves vault in front 3-2.
That was the final as the Braves stay 5.5 up on the Philadelphia Phillies, who are involved in a sinking ship series with the New York Mets that ended this way.
3-2 pitch, breaking ball, hit in the air, deep right center field. Denny, Bamboo Brad, see you later. Back to back on the Phillies is Brad Miller with a pinch hit home run. It's his first homer as a Philly.
You think when he was going down that first base line, he was saying, Bamboo Brad did it.
Well, there you go. I still made my prediction that the Braves will stay in first place for the rest of the year as we approach the halfway mark. And what else am I going to tell you about that? And so the Braves stay 5.5 out. Of course, that wasn't the biggest baseball game of the day. Biggest baseball game of the day was Kumar Rocker defeating the Michigan Wolverines in the College World Series 4-1. And so they are all going to play for it all tonight. The national champion Vandy against Michigan. Boy, those are some schools where the athletes do have to go to the library from time to time. Kumar Rocker had this outstanding day. Like I said, 4-1 was his victory. He struck out 11. Of course, he threw a no-hitter with 19 strikeouts earlier in the postseason. What was very intriguing there is a lot of, one of the baseball rules, fundamentals. Here's an idea. In football, never throw across the field. Too easy to be intercepted. Your roll out to your right, don't throw to a receiver who is on the left. Because the ball's got to go so far that somebody can on defense can pick it off, especially if you throw it in a frozen rope. Baseball, don't start off with a changeup. Don't start. Who are you fooling with a changeup? You're giving them an easier pitch to hit with a changeup. Kumar Rocker did it. Oh yeah.
Whenever it comes to that and I'm worried about it, I just think about my team and I think about, they're going to hit. They got me if I fail. I remember when I couldn't get through that first inning against TCU. I remember Tennessee. I remember those days like they were yesterday. And to finish here with this team, it's awesome.
Now, Rocker's just a freshman. He won't go, we don't think, today. I mean, it'd be asking him to throw his arm out if you did. But the interesting thing here is that Rocker has the ability to really star and put Vanderbilt baseball, not that it's not on the map, heck, they're playing for a national title, but really become something that I can't really remember happening that much. A college baseball star. I remember Mark Kotze, who won back-to-back Golden Spike Awards in the 90s for Cal State Fullerton. I'd call him a college baseball star, but, who else are you going to call a college baseball star? Well, Kumar Rocker really does have that chance to be a college baseball star. He's pitching like nobody's has before. He's, striking out 11 when he's starting off hitters with a changeup, for crying out loud. And this is what Tim Corbin, longtime Vandy coach who turned the program around, well, why do you wait Rocker game 2? Well, he knew that backs to the wall, that was the guy he wanted.
The thing that I knew that he would give us is compete. And there's no doubt in my mind. I haven't been around him that long, but I know the fibers of the kid. I know how he's directed. I know how he thinks. I know how he attacks, and it felt like we had a chance today with him on the mound.
So there you go. So it's Vandy and Michigan tonight for all of it. College World Series. That's the must-watch game. Yeah. I mean, having a ping and all that. Let's face it. Love the majors. Kind of intrigued. But that's the big league game right there. Love the Appy League. The game today is Vandy and Michigan. Absolutely. See if I can't give you a little more about that as some of the time goes on. I mentioned last week the idea of the Tampa Bay Rays, and they are proposing something that I know the Kansas City Kings once did this with Omaha, where they split their games between two cities. The Montreal Expos did it before they moved to Washington with San Juan. It is not a good look. You've been hearing Colin Cowherd say, Tampa doesn't deserve Major League Baseball. I say they're the 11th largest market. I actually think it would be better, and I theorize this, if, say, a stadium was built halfway between Orlando and Tampa. Yeah, that means you'd have to drive to the game, but you would also be putting two top 20 markets together and capitalizing if you had a, say, Central Florida Rays instead of just the Tampa Bay Rays. And I don't think you would be breaking that many hearts of the fans in Tampa, because they would still be getting the same media coverage in that market, and it's still very feasible, very practical to go to games, even if you were living in St. Petersburg. I've been to what was known as the Suncoast Dome. I forget what they call it now. I've been to St. Petersburg. I don't know. Maybe it's because I live in Johnson City, Tennessee. And so any major league park looks good to me. I've been to the Oakland Coliseum. Narrow tunnels. It's still a major league ballpark. That comes with a certain amount of prestige and beauty, no matter what it is. I don't know, you got to be the Baker Bowl or something from 1938 to not have that, or something. I mean, it's a bigger stadium. It's going to have more amenities than what we have around here, even if it isn't, or if it's at the bottom of, say, Major League caliber. I said this, it was like going to a hockey arena for the Rays. It still did have, for me, it wasn't that bad of a deal. It took me forever to find the kind, they sold Anheuser-Busch beer products, and I didn't want to drink Anheuser-Busch. I finally found somebody in a stand called Your Father's Beer I could have a beer at, but a brand that I liked, but nevertheless. But no, it had the appeal, or the feel, let's say, of more of a hockey arena, being a dome stadium. For that matter, the Lightning used to play there years ago. Still, the owner of the Rays, yeah, they can still say that in baseball, for how long, no one knows, but he said, I want to keep baseball in Tampa, but he just doesn't want to keep all kinds of baseball in Tampa.
I don't see it happening in St. Petersburg, and I would be hard-pressed to see it happen in Tampa as well, given what I know. Just given what I know.
Now, he says that even though we start playing half the games in Montreal, it's not a plan to leave. Yeah, right.
Our idea for Tampa Bay and Montreal, there I said it, to share the Rays. To be clear, this is not a staged exit. That thought has never entered my mind. This is not us taking even one glance towards a relocation to Montreal. I rejected that idea years ago, and I continue to reject it today.
Sure. Now, listen to sort of a shady owner recite the obvious.
Many of our fans, quite a large number of them, come to 1 or 2 games a year. They will obviously still have the opportunity to come to 1 or 2 or maybe 5 games a year. So if we're able to compress those million fans, or more or a little less, into a shorter season, that would be a perfect scenario.
All right, that's crap. I'm sorry. I mean, yeah, it's well known. Yeah, most people don't buy full season tickets, certainly. Okay? Most people do go to one game a year if they're a fan. Yeah, that is, if you went into how many fans there would be, people that go to one game a year, and you said number of games that the fans would attend, that would be the most popular of any franchise. Trust me on that. The idea is how to get the fans that'll come one time a year to come twice. You know, the Johnson City Cardinals used to have a marketing slogan, or at least they had this in the commercial, and I thought it was great. It's just not the summer without a trip to Cardinal Park. And they were trying to get somebody who didn't come one time to come one time. Maybe it'd been for a few years. It had been. I thought it was a brilliant campaign. I thought it was a brilliant tagline. I really liked it. And they play half a season in the Appalachian League. I mean, no, just taking away half the games from a town is not a good idea for that town. End of story. How shady do you got to be to believe otherwise?
Box meal.